Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Jaya Jagannath Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सदाभय चरणारिंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रपाद की जय इस्कॉन प्रतिष्ठाता आचार्य शिल प्रपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक स्तोत्र सदा भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. We are actually Janmashtami is going to come, so we are preparing for celebration of Janmashtami. So this time we will from our Bhagavatam or Krishna book, we can say, the chapter 52, that we will read and discuss from that Krishna book. Will recite the pastimes of Krishna, and this sloka is from this chapter, so we'll recite this sloka. श्रीरुक्मण्युवाच श्रुत्वा गुणान् भुवनसुन्दरशृण्वतां ते निर्विश्य कर्णविवरैर्हरतोऽङ्गतापम् रूपं दृशां दृशिमतामखिलार्तलाभम् त्वय्यच्युता विशति चित्तमपत्रपं मे श्रीरुक्मिणी उवाच श्रुत्वा गुणान् भुवनसुन्दरशृण्वतां ते निर्वेश्य कर्णविवरैर्हरतोऽङ्गतापम् रूपं दृशां दृशिमतामखिलार्थलाभम् त्वय्यच्युता विशति चित्तमपत्रपं मे श्रीरुक्मिणी उवाच श्रुत्वा गुणान् भुवनसुन्दरशृण्वतां ते निर्वेश्य कर्णविवरैर्हरतोऽङ्गतापम् रूपं दृशां दृशिमतामखिलार्थलाभम् त्वय्यच्युता विशति चित्तमपत्रपं मे श्रीरुक्मिणी उवाच श्रुत्वा गुणान् भुवनसुन्दरशृण्वतां ते निर्वेश्य कर्णविवरैर्हरतोऽङ्गतापम् रूपं दृशां दृशिमतामखिलार्थलाभम् त्वय्यच्युता विशति चित्तमपत्रपं मे श्रीरुक्मिणी उवाच श्रुत्वा गुणान् भुवनसुन्दरशृण्वतां ते निर्वेश्य कर्णविवरैर्हरतोऽङ्गतापम् रूपं दृशां दृशिमतामखिलार्थलाभम् त्वय्यच्युता विशति चित्तमपत्रपं मे Anybody else want to recite the sloka? Sri Rukmini Uvacha. Sri Rukmini said, Srutva, hearing, Gunan, the qualities, Bhuvana, of all the words, Sundara, O beauty, Sranvatam, for those who hear, Te, your, Nirvishya, having entered, Karna, of the ears, Vivarai, by the orifices, Harataha, removing, Anga, of their bodies, Tapam, the pain, Rupam, the beauty, Drisham, of the sense of sight, Drishimatam, of those who have eyes, Akhila, total, Artha, of the fulfillment of desires, Labham, the obtaining, Tvai, in you, Achyuta, O infallible Krishna, Avisati, is entering, Chittam, mind, Apatrapam, shameless, me, my. Translation and purport given by his disciples of uh, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sri Rukmani said in her letter as read by the Brahmana, O beauty of the worlds, having heard of your qualities, which enter the ears of those who hear and remove their bodily distress, and having also heard of your beauty, which fulfills all the visual desires of those who see, I have fixed my shameless mind upon you, O Krishna. Purport. Rukmini was a king's daughter, courageous and bold, and furthermore, she would rather die than lose Krishna. Considering all this, she wrote a frank, explicit letter begging Krishna to come and take her away. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vashadi Gaur Bhaktarvrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Seeking the blessings from all the Vaishnava, especially His Grace Anandmaya Prabhu. I would like to speak this from Krishna's pastimes. Just I want to know, shall I read from Krishna book or explain this sloka, Anandmaya Prabhu? Because I have been given to Krishna book, 52nd chapter. So I can summarize this chapter and go with this. No. Shall I go through Krishna book or in the Bhagavatam, this text only? I was told to summarize the chapter 52. Huh? Krishna book. Only recitation done or I can explain? Huh? Explain. Okay. Okay. So, Sri Sri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Sri Radha Madan Mohan ji ki jai, Sri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki jai. So, on the occasion of preparation for celebrating Janmashtami, we are hearing Krishna's pastimes to purify our consciousness. Actually, the purpose of human life is to become Krishna conscious. That is our original identity as eternal servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. So by always glorifying by his name, form, qualities and pastimes, etc., we can always remain Krishna conscious. Kirtaniya Sada Hari. And it is said that Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. So we are reading from this Krishna book, which is the summary of this Srimad Bhagavatam's 10th canto actually, and written by Srila Prabhupada. So, so this is the 52nd chapter, whereas it is written in Krishna book as the Krishna the Ranachod, and in the same 52nd chapter in Bhagavatam is Rukmini's message to Lord Krishna is there actually. So, in the previous chapter, Krishna introduced himself before King Muchkunda actually. So, when when King Muchkunda wants to know about his identity, so Lord Krishna answered to him. So about Krishna he wanted to know. So Lord Krishna says, my dear king, it is practically impossible to tell about my birth, appearance, disappearance and activities. Perhaps you know that my incarnation, Anantadev, has unlimited mouths, and for an unlimited time, he has been trying to narrate fully about my name, fame, qualities, activities, appearance, disappearance, and incarnation, but still he has not been able to finish. Therefore, it is not possible to know exactly how many names and forms I possess. It may be possible for a material scientist to estimate the number of atomic particles which make up this earthly planet, but the scientist cannot enumerate my unlimited name, forms, and activities. So, many great sages and saintly persons have tried to list my different forms and activity, yet they have failed to make a complete list. This is what the Krishna is speaking about himself in the previous chapter. So he has given the darshan to King Muchkunda, and after that Krishna returned back to Mathura, and when he came back to Mathura, so again the king Jarasandha attacked Mathura, this time with bigger divisions of soldiers numbering 23 Aksoini, a big number. So this is the 18th time Jarasandha has attacked Mathura. And so as we know, Krishna is all the protector. So Lord Krishna wanted to save Mathura from the 18th attack of the great military divisions of King Jarasandha, to prevent further killing of soldiers and to attend to other important business. Lord Krishna left the battlefield without fighting. So here it said that so he did not want to have further loss of soldiers, and is mentioned here to attend to other important business. So what was that important business? We'll come to know why he left the battlefield. Actually, he was not at all afraid, but he pretended to be an ordinary human being, frightened by the immense quantity of soldiers and resources of Jarasandha. Without any weapon, Krishna left the battlefield, although his lotus feet were as soft as the petals of a lotus flower. He proceeded for a very long distance on foot. So, actually, he has very important work, as you know, that when we come to discuss this today's sloka, what was, and although he was, people understand that he is maybe because of frightened and left. No, he could have killed them single-handedly also. This time Jarasandha thought that Krishna and Balram were very much afraid of his military strength and were fleeing the battlefield. So this is what the people who are of demoniac nature think to Krishna, actually think about Krishna. So what? He chased them, he followed them, because Krishna left the battlefield with all his chariots, horses and infantry. He thought Krishna and Balram to be ordinary human beings, and he was trying to measure the activities of the Lord. This is what the demonic nature does. They calculate the strength, whereas we heard that Krishna is unlimited strength, and unlimited power. Even the Ananta says is describing his pastime for unlimited time, means still is not able to describe the Krishna's complete pastimes. So, so due to this pastime, Krishna is known as Ranachod. So one name has come to Krishna as Ranachod. Ranachod means Rana means battlefield, Chod means he fled away, ran away. Chod. So even today also we see this name is famous in Gujarat, where there is one temple is also there, Ranachod Dev Mandir. In Gujarat so many temples are there, Ranachod temple. So Krishna gets his so many names by performing so many activities. Here he got the name as Ranachod. Chod, it is just like a coward act actually, running away from the battlefield when the this is. Just like Krishna has so many names, Makhanchor. This is a thief, stealing work, but he is glorified as Makhanchor actually. He bluff, he lies before Yasodama that I not eaten mud, when all are complaining about have you eaten mud. So then Yasoda wanted to see in his mouth whether he has eaten the mud. He bluffed that he did not eat. But when Mother Yasoda saw, she saw the entire creation in that mouth, and she saw herself also sitting and seeing in the mouth of Krishna. So the name bluffing also is for glorification. Stealing also glorification. Chiraharana, he stole the cloths of gopis. This is indecent work actually in our calculation. But is a gopi vastra harana, gopi vastra harana leela. That is there. So this is also this is going to be now. Rukmini is praying to Lord to abduct her to marry. So this is also unusual message Rukmini is sending to Krishna, abducting a woman. So there are so many ways a marriage can happen in normal way. Well, Brahmanas comes and perform marriages. There are Gandharva marriages. There is called Rakshasa marriage. Rakshasa means abducting a woman and marrying. This is the act now Krishna. Rukmini is pleading to Krishna to perform actually. So these are the points. Very bewildering, very astonishing, very amazing. Whatever Krishna does, all for his glorification actually. So in her this unusual message, Rukmini has written a letter to Krishna, and it's a very heart-touching letter. So, and it is in the form of just like requesting, praying to Krishna in the mood of begging actually, begging Krishna. And this is also very instructive also to us, how to love Krishna. So we'll see. So this is the first sloka. So what happened after this? He left the battlefield and then he reached Dwarka. No, in between Jarasandha came following Krishna and Balaram, and they ran and climbed a mountain, and then the Jarasandha with his army thought that they have climbed the mountain. They put fire on the ground, on the surrounding mountain, and when the flames were high, so Krishna and Balaram jumped from the mountain. So many miles were mentioned here actually. So and they jumped and ran to Dwarka. And Jarasandha thought that Krishna and Balram might have been died actually. They have been burnt. So they reached Dwarka. And what was the important business why he has ran after? Because Krishna is knowing this. One Brahmana is coming, bringing the message of Rukmini, and he has to save the Rukmini actually. That was the important business. So you just see, Krishna can accomplish so many things in one act actually. He ran away, making his name as Ranachod. People, Jarasan thinking that he's a coward person, but he has to have, because important business. As you say, no, paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskrutam. That is an. So what is there? Why he comes actually? Duskrutam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavam. He comes, but he comes to give pleasure to his devotees actually. This is a subordinate act, actually not an important actually. He can kill from anywhere this actually. So now the Rukmini is glorifying, and what happened after that? He went to Dwarka, then one Brahmana came bringing the message from Sri Rukmini. And what was the message? That we'll read now. So Rukmini said in her letter, and the Brahmana, and when Brahmana came, so Krishna worshipped the Brahmana, glorified him, and after glorification, he should ask for the purpose. So the Brahmana said, the Rukmini ji has sent one message. And who is Rukmini? Rukmini is the goddess of fortune. As Krishna and Radha is there, so whenever he comes a different incarnation, the same Radha ji comes as Lakshmi, goddess Lakshmi is Rukmini. So she sent a letter through this Brahmana, and she is saying, "Oh beauty of the worlds." She is describing the Lord's beauty, having heard of your qualities. So the first he says, Srutva Gunan. Actually, in this past time, Rukmini even did not see Krishna so far, but she heard Srutva from Naradji about the glories and beauty of everything, as we say, no. So here it says that the purpose, as it will be revealed, was to attend a confidential letter sent by Rukmini, his future first wife. Krishna's leaving the battlefield is a display of one of his 6 opulences. Krishna is the supreme powerful, the supreme wealthy, the supreme famous, the supreme wise, and the supreme beautiful. Similarly, he is the supreme renouncer actually. So Srimad Bhagavatam clearly states that he left the battlefield in spite of having ample military strength. So the purpose was different, that he has to save the Rukmini, and so after this, so Rukmini is glorifying, having heard your qualities. So many, Krishna is Sadaiswarya, as we have heard this about beautiful, famous, supreme wise, wealthy, and he is also renouncer actually. With which enter the ears of those who hear and remove their bodily distress. So which enters the ears of those who want to get free from distress actually. Both, not only our gross body, subtle body distress, mental distress actually, more specifically. And having also heard of your beauty once, so she has already heard about his beauty from Naradji. which fulfills all the visual desires of those who see. So, once one hears about the glories, pastimes, about his all Aishwaryas, so he his desire changes actually. And what happened, that Rukmini is saying, I have fixed my shameless mind upon you. She now completely fixed her mind on Krishna. This is what happened when one hears the glories of Lord from a person like Narada. That happens actually, who is always glorifying the Lord actually. So the complete narration is given by Prabhupada in the book. So it is written here, thus being very much satisfied by these transcendental pastimes with the Lord, which when Lord Krishna worshipped the Brahmana and honored him, the Brahmana narrated the whole story of his mission in coming to see Krishna. He got out the letter Rukmini had written to Krishna and said, this is the letter now we have heard in this sloka. Now it is detailed letter. What is that? We will read the detailed letter now from Krishna book. My dear Krishna, O infallible and most beautiful one, any human being who happens to hear about your transcendental form and pastimes immediately absorbs through his ears your name, fame and qualities. Thus all his material pangs subside and he fixes your form in his heart. Through such a transcendental love for you, he always sees you within himself. And by this process, all his desires are fulfilled. Similarly, I have heard of your transcendental qualities. I may be shameless in expressing myself directly, but you have captivated me and taken my heart. You may doubt my steadiness of character, since how could an unmarried young girl like me approach you without any shame? But my dear Mukunda, you are the supreme lion among human beings, the supreme person among persons. Any girl, though not yet having left her home, or even any woman of the highest chastity, would desire to marry you, being captivated by your unprecedented character, knowledge, opulence, and position. I know that you are the husband of the goddess of fortune and are very kind towards your devotees. Therefore, I have decided to become your eternal maid servant. My dear Lord, I dedicate my life and soul unto your lotus feet. I have selected your lordship as my husband, and I therefore request you to accept me as your wife. You are the supreme powerful, O lotus-eyed one. Now I belong to you. If that which is enjoyable for the lion to eat is taken away by the jackal, it will be a ludicrous affair. Therefore, I request you to immediately take care of me before I am taken away by Sisupal and other princes like him. Why is he saying like that? Because he is considering Krishna as the lion, and she already, her marriage was fixed with Sisupal actually, and she is telling all them to be a jackal actually. So the which is to be taken by lion, jackal will take away actually. Please come actually. My dear Lord, in my previous life, I may have done public welfare work like digging wells and planting trees or pious activity such as performing ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices and serving superiors like the spiritual master, Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. By these activities, perhaps I have pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. If this be so, then I wish that you, Lord Krishna, the brother of Lord Balarama, please come here and catch hold of my hand so that I shall not be touched by Sisupal and his company actually. So this means one who is got attracted to Krishna is not that something actually this person might have done so much of pious activities, also serving to Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, doing devotional services. After doing devotional service only or these activities, they come to Krishna actually. Whoever is coming to Krishna and attracted to Krishna, it means they have done lot of pious acts now and in previous lives. That is there actually. Rukmini's marriage with Sisupal was already settled. Therefore, she suggested that Krishna kidnap her. This is what she is recommending actually, requesting, or so that this might be changed. This sort of marriage in which the girl is kidnapped by force is known as Rakshasa's marriage and is practiced among Kshatriyas or man with an administrative martial spirit, not an ordinary person. Earlier also kings have to show their valor and get the hands of girl by performing their valor. Because her marriage was already arranged to take place the next day, so urgent work. Why Krishna left? Only next day her marriage was there. So if you would have engaged in the war, then so many days would have gone actually. Rukmini suggested that Krishna come there incognito, should not come directly. He should, in disguised way, means incognito, to kidnap her and then fight with Sisupal and his allies. Like the king of Magad, who's supporting to Sisupal, the other kings of Magad, knowing that no one could conquer Krishna, who would certainly emerge victorious, she addressed him as Ajita. This is the first sloka of Rukmini's prayer. We can read the entire this letter also in the sloka form. This is the narration of the entire letter Prabhupada has given in the Krishna book actually. So he's telling, who can win you? You are Ajita. Jito. So the unconquerable Lord. So it said, no. Jnane prayasa mudapasya namante va jivanti sanmukha haritam bhavadiya vartam sthane stita srutigatam tanavan manobhir. So ajito bhi. Just by hearing the glories, jnane prayas, we have to give up the jnana prayas. Jnane prayas mudapasya namante jivanti sanmukha haritam bhavadiya vartam. This is the bhavadiya vartam. The discussion about Lord, Bhavadi Vartam. Sthane, by sitting at one place, by hearing Sthane Stita Strutigatam, by hearing Strutigatam Tanavan Manobhi, the heart become very Manobhi. Jaya Jita Jitobi. We can conquer the Lord who cannot be conquered by any means. We can win over the Lord. This is the Brahmaji speaking in Bhagavatam also. Rukmini told Krishna not to be concerned that the fighting would take place within the palace and that many of her family members, including other women, might thus be wounded or even killed. So she was concerned about, suppose if Krishna comes, fight will go on, not only killing Sisupal and their allies of king of Magad, their members are also there. So she is very concerned about them also. So what she is telling, as the king of a country thinks of diplomatic ways to achieve the object. So now she is telling in diplomatical way. What is? Rukmini, being the daughter of a king, was diplomating. This is diplomatic. She is very diplomatic in suggesting how this unnecessary and undesirable killing could be avoided. Don't come like that, kill whimsical, means anyway, or so by suppose we want to killing Shishupal under, but some other good people also will be killed. So she is worried about that also. She explained that it was the custom of her family to visit the temple of goddess Durga, their family deity, before a marriage. She is giving a plan to Krishna how to abduct her actually. So she is telling that before marriage, she has this is a what is the custom is there to visit. The Kshatriya kings were mostly staunch Vaishnavas, worshipping Lord Vishnu in either the Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayan form. Still, for their material welfare, they used to worship goddess Durga. So they never made the mistake, however, of accepting the demigod as the supreme lord on the level of Vishnu Tattva, as do some less intelligent men. This is where to be understand why Rukmini Krishna is there and why she is going to goddess Durga. Even if one go to goddess Durga, one has to know what is their position. Not that goddess Durga is as equal to Lakshmi Narayan and Lakshmi ji and Radha ji. So, so in that mood, if one worship for material things, it's okay. But by understanding that, so they are not Vishnu Tattva. So because some less intelligent men go to, either they think that either we come to here in the Radha Krishna temple or to go to goddess Durga temple. One and the same. No, not one and the same. They are different. There we are going for fulfillment of our material desires. Here we are not coming for fulfillment of material desire. Here we are coming to love, to give in loving, to perform our loving devotional service. This is the difference is there actually. So to avoid the unnecessary killing of her relatives, Rukmini suggested that it would be easier for him to kidnap her while she was either going from the palace to the temple or else returning home. Either any of the time. While going or returning, Krishna can come and abduct her. She is giving plan to Krishna. She has written all this in her letter actually. She also explained to Krishna why she was anxious to marry him. Yes, this is also there. Even though her marriage was to take place with Shishupal, who was also qualified, is not the Shishupal was not less qualified, also a very, what is called, just like we see Jarasandha, Shishupal, they are of very courageous, means very strength they were having. Being the son of a great king, Rukmini said that she did not think anyone was greater than Krishna. This is what, whoever may be, we see so many beautiful beauties in this world, so many strength, so many opulences, and so many intelligent people, whoever we can see. But no one can compare to Krishna. Because all intelligence, all beauty is coming from Krishna only. He is the source of all. He is Saidashwarya. So, not even Lord Shiva is equal to. Who is known as Mahadev, is Devadidev, Mahadev. The greatest of all. But he is a worshipable person. Not that. But we have to know what is what actually. This is what Prabhupada is explaining. Lord Shiva also Even voluntarily we take fasting without going bodily comforts. Even Janmashtami is coming. We celebrate Janmashtami by keeping 24 hours fasting, even without water also. Why? So this is because we want Krishna. This is the point. If it were not possible in this lifetime to gain Krishna's favor by these activities, she was prepared to die from such austerity and to undergo similar difficulty lifetime after lifetime, but not giving up that desire. This is what is called attraction of love. Krishna is love personified actually. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the pure devotees of the Lord execute devotional service with great determination. So, such determination as exhibited by Rukmini Devi is the only price for purchasing Krishna's favor. One should be strongly determined in Krishna consciousness, and that is the way to ultimate success. After relaying Rukmini Devi's statement to Krishna, the Brahmana said, "My dear Krishna, chief of the Yadu dynasty, I have brought this confidential message for you from Rukmini. Now it is placed before you for your consideration. After due deliberation, you may act as you please, but if you want to do something, you must do it immediately. There is not much time left for action." So it is not that we can force, you have to love me. No, that is what I am ready. One has to be ready to do take any type of austerity for getting the favor of Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness is there. So we can see that how it is very instructive. If you want the love or favor of Krishna, one has to be very determined with deliberation ones. Even we see that glorified by so many devotees. Even Yamunacharya also glorified the Krishna's qualities. Tvam sila rupa charitai parama prakrishtai satvena satvikataya prabalaischa sastrai prakhyatadaiva paramartha vidam tathaiva mataischa naiva sura prakrutaya prabhavanti bodhum. So what says? So what is the seal? What is his nature? Why we attract to Krishna? Because his nature is like this. Swabhava, your benevolent disposition. And what is there? Tvam sila rupa, your lovely beautiful form actually. Rupa charitai, his divine deeds. Aprakrit, atimanaviya, adbhut lila are there actually. And satvena satvikataya. So he is always remain in exalted sattvic position, pure goodness. That is. Prabalaischa sastrai, and scripturally authorized also. It is not that. Prakhyatadaiva paramartha vidam mataischa, and many those who are knowing the supreme truth, their mata, perception is also there. Prakhyatadaiva paramartha vidam mataischa. What is their mata? Prabhavanti bodhum. They are very intelligent person. But who cannot take shelter of Lord? Naiva sura prakritaya. Demoniac nature people cannot understand this. This is the situation is there. Just like Lord Krishna showed his Virata Roop to Arjuna. And before that also he showed his Virata Roop to Duryodhana. But he could not understand. And he ordered to arrest Krishna actually. This is what is there. So, Ekaleishwara Krishna or Sabhabhratya. That is, we are all Prakriti and Krishna is the only Purusha. And we are all meant for his enjoyment. Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvalokamayeswaram surudam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam santi mrichati. But what happens by our ignorance? Purusha prakriti stoi bhunkte prakriti jan guna karanam guna sangasya satasat yoni janmasu. We think we are enjoyer, Purusha means enjoyer. Purusha. And we think this Prakriti is for my enjoyment. This is all ignorance. Bhunkte Prakriti, because of three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, and we associate with Karanam Guna Sangasya. So what happened? We get again and again good birth, bad birth, and all these yonis, different 84 lakh species, we go on changing our bodies. So this can be stopped. If we understand, Ekaleshwara Krishna Arasabhyat. Jivera Swarup hoye Krishna Ranidya. Jivera, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, na, Jiva Krishna Das, e Viswas, Karle to ar dukh nahi. Radha Krishna bol bol, bolo re sabai. This is what is there. Bhakti Vinod Thakur also sing. So the purpose of human life is to purify our consciousness. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, how can we purify? Cheto darpanam arjanam bhava maha davagni nirvapanam Shreya kairav chandrika vitranam vidyavadu jivanam. How this process of purification happens? Anandam buddhi vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijate Sri Krishna, by just Sankirtanam, glorifying Lord by His name, particularly in this age, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. But our misfortune, we are not getting taste in this. Durdaivam janina anuraga. Even though namna makari bauda nija sarv sakti, all potencies are kept in His name, but still we are not getting interest, because what is our misfortune? Because we are thinking we are the enjoyer actually. We are the controller. We are the proprietor. We are the possessor. We are not. Nothing actually. So changing this, so we have to change this misfortune into our fortune by practicing in the mood of Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Saisnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadari. Always glorifying Lord, hearing about Him, and this, thus by purifying our consciousness, then we feel more and more near to Krishna. This way we can will get favor from Krishna, and this way we have to celebrate our Janmashtami, which is going to come. Thank you very much. Any questions, any comments? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। कृष्णा धर्म छोड़ भगवान की जय।